All right, AI, I need some answers. I've been paying property taxes in this same neighborhood for 25 years, and honestly, it looks exactly the same as when I moved here. Where's all that money going?
That's a great question, Jim. Property taxes are complex, but let me break this down for you. In most areas, property taxes fund local services like schools, police, fire departments, road maintenance, and municipal operations. But here's the thing, the money doesn't always stay in your specific neighborhood.
Wait, what do you mean it doesn't stay here?
Think of it like this. Your neighborhood might generate, say, $2 million annually in property taxes, but that money goes into a citywide or countywide pool. It gets redistributed based on municipal budgets and priorities, not necessarily neighborhood needs.
So you're telling me my neighborhood could be subsidizing improvements elsewhere?
Exactly. Wealthier neighborhoods often generate more tax revenue per capita, but that revenue might fund services across the entire municipality. Meanwhile, your neighborhood's specific infrastructure needs might be lower on the priority list.
This is crazy. Let me ask you something. If I had $10 million to spend on my neighborhood, what could I actually fix?
Now we're talking. $10 million could transform a neighborhood. Here's what you could potentially accomplish. Street infrastructure. Complete road resurfacing for about 75 residential streets would cost roughly $3, $4 million. Parks and recreation. Build 3 new community parks with playgrounds, walking trails, and sports courts. About $1.5 million. Lighting and safety. Install modern LED street lighting throughout the neighborhood. Around $500,000. Community center. Build a multi-purpose community center with meeting spaces, computer lab, and activity rooms. $2 million. Housing improvements. Provide grants for home repairs and facade improvements for 200-plus homes. $2 million. Green infrastructure. Plant 1,000+ trees, create community gardens, and install green stormwater management. $1 million.
Holy cow, that would completely change this place. But wait, over 25 years, how much have we actually paid in taxes?
Let's do the math, Jim. If your neighborhood has 500 homes averaging $3,000 in annual property taxes, that's $1.5 million per year. Over 25 years, your neighborhood alone has contributed $37.5 million in property taxes.
$37.5 million? And we could transform the whole neighborhood with just $10 million? Where did the other $27.5 million go?
That's the system, Jim. Those funds likely went to school district budgets, typically 40 to 60% of property taxes, municipal services across the entire city, administrative cost debt service on municipal bonds, emergency services for the broader area.
You know what really gets me? It feels like they keep taking money from regular working people like us. But what about the wealthy? Are they paying their fair share?
You've hit on a major policy debate. Here are some key points. Property tax caps. Many wealthy areas benefit from tax assessment caps that limit how much their property values can increase for tax purposes, even as market values soar. Tax avoidance. Wealthy individuals and corporations often use legal strategies to minimize tax burdens that aren't available to average homeowners. Regressive impact. Property taxes can be regressive. They take a larger percentage of income from middle and lower income families, even though wealthy households might pay more in absolute dollars. Investment priorities. Municipal spending often prioritizes areas that generate the most revenue or have the most political influence.
So what can people like me actually do about this?
Jim, I'm not just going to give you general advice. I'm going to tell you exactly who to contact and what to say. Are you ready to take notes?
Now we're talking. Give it to me straight.
First, here's your contact list. 1. Your city council representative. Find them at yourcity.gov. Call their office Monday mornings. That's when they're most accessible. 2. The public works director. They control road repairs, street lighting, and infrastructure spending. 3. The city budget director. They decide how property tax revenue gets allocated. 4. Your mayor's office. They set overall priorities and can fast-track neighborhood issues.
Okay, but what exactly do I say to them?
Here's your script, Jim. When you call, say this. Hi, this is your name from your address. I'm calling because I've done the math on our neighborhood's property tax contributions versus the infrastructure improvements we've received. Over 25 years, our area has contributed $37.5 million in property taxes. Yet our roads are still in poor condition, while I notice, name-specific neighborhood just got complete street resurfacing. I'd like to schedule a meeting to discuss why there's this disparity in infrastructure investment.
That's direct. But what if they give me the runaround?
Then you escalate, Jim. Here's what you do next. Step 1. Document everything. Take photos of your neighborhood's problems, potholes, broken streetlights, cracked sidewalks, then drive to the neighborhoods that are getting improvements and photograph those too. Create a side-by-side comparison. Step 2. Get the data request. These documents under the Freedom of Information Act, property tax revenue by neighborhood for the last 5 years, public works spending by neighborhood for the last 5 years, the criteria used to prioritize infrastructure projects.
Wait, I can actually request that information?
Absolutely. It's public money, Jim. You have every right to see where it's going. Now here's the letter template you're going to send. Jim, copy this letter exactly, but fill in your specific details.
Wow, that's powerful, but what if they ignore me?
Then you go nuclear, Jim. Here's your escalation plan.
Hold on, you're telling me I could actually sue the city over this?
Jim, if you can prove systematic discrimination in municipal services based on neighborhood demographics, absolutely. Courts have ruled on this before, but honestly, it rarely gets that far. Most cities will negotiate once they realize you're serious and organized.
This is incredible. I feel like I actually have some power now.
That's because you do have power, Jim. You're a taxpayer, a voter, and a citizen. The system works when people like you make it work. But here's the key. Don't do this alone. Building your coalition. Step 1. Knock on 20 doors in your neighborhood. Ask neighbors, are you happy with what we're getting for our property taxes? Step 2. Create a simple one-page flyer with your tax calculations and photo evidence. Step 3. Start a group text or email list with interested neighbors. Step 4. Assign roles. Someone to take photos, someone to research city documents, someone to contact media.
You know what? I'm not waiting. I'm starting tomorrow.
That's what I want to hear, Jim. But remember, document everything. Keep copies of all correspondence, take dated photos, and get everything in writing.
Before we wrap up, give me one final piece of advice.
Here it is. The system only works for people who work the system. Your city officials are betting that you'll just complain and do nothing. When you show up with facts, numbers, legal documents, and organized neighbors, you become someone they have to take seriously.
And if other people watching this want to do the same thing in their neighborhoods?
Then they should start tonight. Calculate their neighborhood's tax contributions, photograph the problems, and make that first phone call Monday morning. The template is right here. Just fill in your own numbers.
One last question, is this really worth the effort? When you put it like that, I'd be crazy not to do this.
That's the spirit. Democracy isn't a spectator sport, and neither is getting your fair share of the taxes you've been paying for 25 years.